people, thank you so much for coming to our channel. Denver and I have been very excited to film this video for you today. We're going to be speaking about our COVID wedding and our experience through it, as well as what we actually appreciated through the whole journey, as well as answering some of your guys' questions when we put a poll up on Instagram.
So there were quite a few questions that came through, so thank you very much for asking. We won't be able to answer all of them, unfortunately, because of time, but hopefully through our story and through us just telling the story about our wedding, we'll be able to answer your question, but we will be going through them after or later on in this video. So just a brief backstory of Kelly and I. We started dating 2017, in November 2017. I actually DM'd her, and we started talking, and then eventually we started dating, which was cool. Then the end of 2019, December 2019, we were dating for just over 2 years. And we got engaged in George or Knysna, which was really, really cool. And we were super excited for our big 2020 wedding. So when we got back beginning of January, we went and we found a nice venue.
I got to experience like our flower decorations in terms of the table decor. So we did like mock-ups of those. So we were quite like far into our wedding planning. Like we knew what we were doing. We had like our wedding list. We had even sent out our wedding invites. And then obviously this whole COVID situation happened. So yeah, I remember when Cyril first announced just about lockdown and what's going to be happening, and yeah, we were still okay then.
Because it was meant to be a 2-week lockdown, and then everything was meant to be fine.
Yeah.
Well, we know that didn't happen, so.
So it was a bit longer, and I remember I used to get so upset when Cyril used to like do announcements, and just because I was so anxious about this whole wedding thing.
As you all know, then obviously numbers started deteriorating in terms of how many people could meet, and our wedding was set for 13th of June. So when first lockdown happened in March, we were like, okay, hopefully by June this will have sorted itself out. So yeah, it was tough, but we weren't too worried. And then obviously after a few months, we started freaking out a little bit, but we were in contact with the venue quite a bit, and they were very, very helpful just in terms of kind of guiding us on what to do and how to go about it. Yeah, we kind of just planned for it to be our normal wedding, but we did eventually get to a point where we made a list of ourselves, our main list. We made a list of 100 people, a list of 50 people, a list of 30 people, a list of 10 people, and then even just Kelly's parents, my parents,
like intermediate family,
as just a small wedding. So that's how we kind of planned that, just for any circumstance or any situation that would come about.
Yeah, but then when June kind of came around and we realized we couldn't do our wedding on the 16th of June, 13th of June, we then moved it to when did we move it to?
So we moved it to the 28th of August. So the venue gave us the option to move it to Friday the 28th of August. And we're like, okay, cool. Well, hopefully by August this should be fine. And I think that this was then, I think we moved into stage 4 or stage 3.
So it was looking better.
So it was looking, we're like, okay, cool. Maybe we could have a bit more people. And then about a month before, we asked the venue, listen, because the venue wasn't open at all. And we asked them if they were going to open, and they said, to be honest, probably not for the rest of the year. So Carl and I were like, this is tough, because obviously we wanted our nice wedding that we planned and we were excited for. So I went to my friends at my old church and spoke to them about potentially using that as a venue in case our original venue didn't work out.
We're actually going to use the plot of land that was next to the church.
But that was still a backup. And then eventually we came to the point where we made the decision, okay, cool, we're actually just going to cancel with our venue. And that was hard. I mean, it was tough because that's where we wanted it. We like dreamed of our wedding being there. So we cancelled. Luckily, the venue refunded us the full amount minus the deposit, which was really, really nice. I heard of some people that didn't get any refunds or anything. So we were really blessed with that. So then we cancelled with the wedding, and then we had the option to move our wedding date to whenever we want. So we then moved it to the 29th, which was the Saturday. And then we're going to have it at my old church on the big plot of land next to it. And then we went on Pinterest and we found some cool felt themed weddings. Then about 3 weeks before the wedding, the piece of land that we chose on the land burnt down.
Literally, there was like a fire.
There was a fire, and it just burnt that area. nothing else,
awful.
just that area that we were going to get married at. So we got to the point where we actually just we weren't
laughed.
angry, we weren't upset, we were
We
just
laughed.
like, it is what it is, you know, the motto of 2020. So yeah, then we found another section at the church with the help of the guys from the church, which was really, really useful. And then from basically 3 weeks, basically a month, we could plan now the wedding at this new section. So yeah, we decided to use hay bales as seats. So we decided to use carpets to create the aisle.
And I think it was so lovely for us. I know with our previous wedding venue, there were a lot of people actually doing a lot of the work for us, and it was amazing that our family could actually kind of pitch in terms of like my dad making the altar piece that was going to be at the end of the aisle. So yeah, it was actually so nice to have just family so involved and so involved in that celebration. I thought that was really cool.
And I mean, John and Nikki from Flower Creations, they were the ones who helped with the decor and the food and everything, and they did their magic, and it was very helpful because we felt that we had to cancel and redo it. We had to do it ourselves, and there was still a bit of that weddingness in terms of they did a lot of the stuff. They were like, no, you guys just focus on this, you do this,
which was also
and they
helpful.
did a lot of it, which helped so much.
Yeah, they actually did a huge chunk of stuff, which was so helpful.
The day came and it actually was perfect. The weather was perfect. The sunsets was perfect for the photos.
Yeah, our photos with the sunset and the clouds. Oh my goodness,
nice.
It was beautiful.
So in terms of how many people we had, we were obviously only restricted to 50 as a religious gathering. So we decided to just have family. And it was very hard because you would have to choose one friend from one friendship group, but then you have to invite everyone else from that friendship group. And it became quite a bit of a challenge trying to figure out who to invite and who not to invite, and it was going to be tough. So we decided to just keep it to our groomsmen and our bridesmaids, who were the only friends that were there. It was amazing. It was perfect. We set up a Zoom camera and we zoomed it out to the rest of our friends so they could partake in it. So it was very different. I mean, we didn't think at the beginning of the year that we were going to have a Zoom wedding. Luckily, our friends could watch it from wherever they were, and they could still be a part of it. So they watched the ceremony, and then afterwards we cut the Zoom feed, and then we had the reception.
A little reception.
Yeah, so we just did it in a little cafe at the church there. But yeah, overall, it was actually perfect. I wouldn't change it for anything. If I could have the option of having our original wedding or this one,
I would go for this one.
Go for this one.
We've always said that we just felt like this wedding that we did have during COVID was so much more us. And I think it was so cool because we really got to focus more. You don't have to stare at me while I speak.
Sorry, I'm just listening to you.
I thought it was really cool because we got to focus more on what is actually a wedding and why are we actually getting married and what is the meaning behind that, rather than focusing too much on, I don't know, like decor and stuff like that. I feel like we really got to focus on the really important things about a wedding and why you're doing this.
Yeah. We're going to go through some questions that you guys asked. I'll go through a few, Kelly will go through a few.
You do one, I'll do one.
Yeah, there we go, that works. And if we have answered your question in our story, cool. When did you decide to just take the jump and plan your wedding?
Oh, okay.
So, we decided, obviously once you got engaged, you want to get married. So you plan where you're going to get married, what date you're going to get married, who you're going to invite, all that. So it's quite overwhelming, I would think. So I wouldn't rush it. I'd just sit down with your partner and just plan. Just be like, okay,
make a list of things that you kind of need to do. And then also a huge thing that helped me was was I asked women who have already gotten married, and I had an amazing friend who sent me her list of when she got married. So it was a cool way to just do like a little checklist, and then you look at the most important things. What do you need to get done first? And that's kind of how we scheduled around it, and that was so helpful because it can be so overwhelming to just be like, I have to plan a whole like wedding day.
Yeah, and you don't know where to start.
Yeah, so it's a good idea to just break it up and also chat to people who have been married so they can give you tips and what to write down on that list.
Yeah.
So another question was, how did you guys go about the virtual route? So we actually had Mark who knows a lot about cameras and stuff like that. So he did a lot of the virtual stuff, as well as Denver also set it all up. So I think that was very, very helpful. Did she not set it up?
It was Mark. Guys,
Okay, Mark set everything up, but Denver knows a little bit. Yeah.
Campbell.
And the nice thing is we do know a lot of people who use cameras and do a lot of filming kind of stuff, or who know that kind of background. So that helped a lot. So I think, yeah, if you are wanting to go the virtual route, I would definitely encourage you to maybe chat to someone who knows more about that kind of stuff. It's not difficult. But yeah, and we just did it off of Zoom.
Make sure that if you are going to use Zoom, you have the paid for subscription, so you don't have that 45-minute cap.
But you can ask for someone
Well, I didn't use my
someone's.
account.
We didn't have a paid subscription. We asked if we could use someone else's paid subscription, and we just logged in to their profile. But yeah, so then you don't have a 45-minute cap.
Yeah.
So you have a little bit longer, which is good. So another question is not getting married soon, but just tips and things you found useful that people don't really mention. Do you have any?
Yeah, I think people have mentioned it, but one big thing is don't worry about the little things. Don't sweat the small stuff. I know it is quite cliche,
Easy to say, but
yeah, it's easy to say because I mean you want your day to be perfect. You want everything to be perfect. Yeah. Any other tips is just be prepared for anything. I think nobody saw this coming, so being able to adapt and change to a new environment, to a new scenario, a new situation, I think that was quite useful. And being able to let go of stuff. I mean, because it was hard for us to let go of that wedding venue that we wanted.
Yeah, I think it was actually such a growing experience for both of us, and it really developed our character, which was really, really cool. So another question is, why didn't you wait until the pandemic ended or restrictions eased to have your wedding? So the thing is, we are Christians and we didn't live together before we got married. So I think a big thing for us is that we just wanted to start our lives together. So yeah, that was a big thing for us in like not waiting another year or another 2 years.
Yeah.
Because getting married for us is like, cool, we're starting our lives together, we're moving in together. It was like an exciting big thing.
Yeah. So I mean, we kind of waited for the restrictions to ease even then. So we got married, I think end of level 3 or level 4. I can't remember.
Yeah.
So for us, the restrictions had eased a little bit. But also, we don't know when this pandemic's going to be over. So like Kelly said, we just decided that we wanted to start our lives together and begin living, start our lives together. We're not going to let the pandemic dictate or control our lives in that sense. And we're just like, let's just do it. How did the venue ensure safety during the events? And then Kelly's question is, how did it ensure the COVID regulations? So we obviously wanted to make sure everyone felt safe and comfortable.
Yes.
So we did have a sign-in station. My brother helped him with the sign station. So every guest that came in, including us, we had to sign in. There was hand sanitizers. Yes, definitely hand sanitizers. And obviously the guests had to wear their mask. Where's our D&K mask?
Oh, it's in.
Quickly go get it. Yeah. Kate's going to get our mask. So we gave everyone as a wedding gift, instead of like a cool plant or whatever, we gave everyone a mask. So everyone got a D&K mask.
Which is really cool, and it was such like a sentimental, special gift, especially like what we're going through and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
that was cool. The hay bales were separated apart quite a distance.
Yeah, so there were like 2 per hay bale, so there was like a bit of space between everyone.
We had it outside, which was quite useful. And I mean, obviously, it's tough to make sure that you keeping the COVID, like, everyone must stay 2 meters away and this and this. It was tough because I mean, you don't want that to dampen the day. You want it to be a day of celebration. So
a joyous occasion.
Everyone kind of understood what was happening.
And then also with the food, we did put big regulations on that. So because we had platters, we didn't want everyone just picking from the platters. So we had John and Nikki who helped us out with serving with
so they
tongs and
stood
stuff.
behind with tongs, and then people would go be like, cool, I'd like that, like that, and then they would pick it up, put it on the plate. The same with the drinks. Lucan was behind the bar, and they'd be like, please can I have a Coke, or please can I have a hazelnut iced coffee. They would make it, hand it to you, and then you throw it away. So there wasn't any like glasses or any cups or anything, because we didn't want people touching stuff and all of that.
So I think we did pretty well.
Cool. So I think So hopefully we answered some of your questions in this thing. I know we couldn't get to all of them.
Yeah, and if you have clicked on this video because you are planning a wedding or something and you're super interested to know more or ask more questions, please will you write questions below, and we might do another Q&A maybe later on, depending on how many people want more questions answered.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, thanks guys, we appreciate it, and hope you enjoyed this.
Yeah, stay safe.
Yeah, stay safe.
And yeah, we'll be uploading more videos soon.
We love you.
Bye.